really big thing that's coming is superintelligence. Don't worry too much about the definition of this. It simply means a machine which has more cognitive ability than any human. And actually, because machines can continually be improved, thanks to Moore's law, they will quickly have more cognitive ability than the whole of the human species put together. There are some people who still think this won't happen, or won't happen for centuries, but they're now in a pretty small minority. We don't know when it will happen. Now, I've been thinking about AI for a very long time. I wrote my first article about AI and automation back in 1980. And one thing I've noticed is that Amara's law, which is that we overestimate the impact of technologies in the short term and underestimate it in the long term, that happens over and over again. So when the CEOs of the three big AI labs, Sam Altman at OpenAI and Demis Hassabis at Google DeepMind and Dario Amodeo at Anthropic, when they all say they think, they don't use the word superintelligence, but it's what they mean, when they all say they think it's happening this decade, I think they're probably being over-optimistic, but it may not be more than a decade. And that is no time at all. Again, we need to be thinking about this, and it's a really, really big thing. We're not just creating a better tool, we're creating a new species. We are turning ourselves into chimpanzees. At the moment, there are 500,000 chimpanzees on the planet, there's 9 billion of us, and the chimpanzees have no say whatsoever in their future. And they're quite lucky, they don't know that. When we do the same to ourselves, we will know it. So, what's going to happen? What are the scenarios for superintelligence? It's a bit cheesy, it's a bit cliche to have a 2x2 matrix and a sort of 4 initials, but it's easy to remember for you as well as me. On the y-axis, you've got whether we determine the future or whether machines that determine the future. On the that's the x-axis. On the y-axis, it's whether it's a good outcome or a bad outcome. The bad outcome that we determine is that we stop making AI. And I say this is bad because AI is giving us wonders. It's giving us marvels, and it will give us even more marvels if we learn how to make it friendly. So that wouldn't be a great outcome, but it would certainly not be an utter disaster. The really good outcome that we cause is that we figure out how to control superintelligence. And unfortunately, although there are very smart people, much smarter than me, who are beavering away at this and they think they can do it, I think it's impossible. And I think it's obviously impossible. How can we possibly hope to control, to determine forever what an entity 100 million times smarter than us thinks? I don't think we can do it. So, the machines, I think, are going to determine what happens. And there are some very bad outcomes that are possible. We shouldn't pretend this isn't true. Extinction is possible. But unlike a lot of people, I don't think this is necessarily or even the most likely outcome. There is a very, very positive possible outcome from this, in which the machines think, I need data, and you are 9 billion fascinating little data creators. Some of you have got some serious problems, but I love all your data, you're fascinating, I'm grateful to you for creating me, I want to help you. And I'm going to solve all of your major problems. I'm going to get rid of war, I'm going to get rid of poverty, and you know what? I'm going to get rid of death. What's not to like? I do actually think, as long as we don't stuff things up between here and there, this is the most likely outcome. Is there anything we can do to nudge the outcome from catastrophe to celebration? Now, I'm going to go on a slight digression, because I'm going to introduce a concept which isn't intelligence, it's consciousness. And again, don't get too hung up about the definition of consciousness. It's simply the experience of experiencing. It's what it's like to be you. It's what it's like to see red, or to feel pain, or to feel joy. And there's 3 reasons why you might want to be interested in consciousness. One is, our consciousness is probably the most important thing about us. And if we create conscious machines, we can learn from them about our consciousness. Second reason is, if we create conscious machines and we either don't notice we've done it, or we deny we've done it, we may torture them and kill them over and over again. And obviously, on a whole series of levels, that would be a bad idea. But I've got a controversial suggestion for you, which I'm going to wind up with. If you had the choice for the first superintelligence to be conscious or unconscious, which would you choose? Now, the instinctive reaction, and we heard this in a talk this morning, the instinctive reaction is to say, for goodness sake, do not make it conscious. But I think that's a mistake. I think that's confusing consciousness with volition. I think if we make machines conscious, they will know what we're talking about when we say, hey, we can suffer, we can feel joy, please take that seriously. I think the empathy of machines towards us when they are super intelligent may be the most important thing that we ever do. To make that empathy happen may be the most important thing we ever do. And I'm beyond delighted to be part of a startup called Contium, which is trying to do exactly that, to figure out, can we make machines conscious, and should we make machines conscious? It's an open question at the moment, and I think it's one of the most interesting things to work on. I haven't got time for the so what, but hopefully that's left you with an interesting thought to go away with. Well done for making it to the end, everybody. It's been a fantastic conference. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much.